$1.5 billion! That's how much this guy is worth. And look, I know what you're thinking. Another YouTuber success story. Another guy who got lucky with the algorithm, right? Wrong. So wrong. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. MrBeast didn't just build a YouTube channel. He built something that, honestly, it kind of scares me how smart it is. We're talking about a kid, 13 years old, bedroom in North Carolina, 0 connections, 0 money. Uploads his first video in 2012. Nobody watches. Like, literally nobody. And then, 13 years later, 500 million subscribers on his main channel alone. More than the entire population of the United States. A chocolate company doing hundreds of millions a year. 500 employees. Harvard professors studying his business model. But wait, here's where it gets weird. He made all of this money by giving money away. Millions and millions of dollars. Just handing it to strangers on camera. That makes no sense, right? How do you get rich by giving away your money? Okay, so I spent honestly way too many hours researching this. And what I found, it's not what you think. It's way more interesting. Let's get into it. So before we get into the story, I need you to understand something important. Most people, they see MrBeast and think, okay, cool, rich YouTuber, makes crazy videos, gives away cash, fun to watch. That's it. But that's like looking at Apple and thinking, oh, they make phones. No, that's not what's happening here. What Jimmy Donaldson built, and yes, that's his real name, it's not a YouTube channel. It's a machine. A very specific type of machine that takes attention, which is free, and converts it into actual businesses worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm gonna show you exactly how it works. Step by step. The math, the psychology, the failures nobody talks about, all of it. But first, we need to go back, way back, to a bedroom in North Carolina, because the story of how this kid figured it all out, it's honestly kind of insane. Okay, so Jimmy Donaldson, born 1998, Greenville, North Carolina. And I mean, if you've never heard of Greenville, that's the point. Small town, nothing special. Population maybe 100,000. His mom raised him and his brother. Single parent household. No Hollywood connections. No rich uncle. No business background. Just a regular American family. At 13, and I remember being 13, I was doing absolutely nothing productive. At 13, Jimmy starts uploading videos to YouTube. Let's plays, commentary, you know, the stuff every kid with a webcam was doing back then. Call of Duty clips, worst intros compilations, that kind of thing. Nothing special, right? Thousands of kids doing the exact same thing. But here's where Jimmy gets, I don't know, obsessive. And I mean that in the best way. See, while other kids were playing sports, or hanging out, or, you know, doing normal teenage stuff, Jimmy was doing something weird. He wasn't just watching YouTube, he was studying it, like a scientist. I'm talking hours and hours, every single day, breaking down thumbnails. Why does this image get clicks, but that one doesn't? Counting words in titles, writing down upload schedules of successful channels. He had notebooks, actual physical notebooks full of, YouTube analytics at 14 years old. And here's the crazy part. He wasn't doing this alone. He found a group of other kids online, same obsession, and they would get on Skype calls for hours, not playing games, just talking about YouTube, analyzing what works, testing theories. Think about that for a second. A bunch of teenagers on Skype discussing retention curves and click-through rates for fun. While I was playing video games, this kid was building a mental database of everything that makes content go viral. And you know what happened with all that studying? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. For years. Look at this. 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. 4 years. Almost 5. The view counts? Basically 0. Maybe a few hundred per video. Sometimes less. 4 years of uploading, 4 years of studying, 4 years of nothing. Most people would quit. I mean, obviously, right? 4 years with no results? Anyone would walk away. But Jimmy went harder. January 2017, Jimmy has an idea. A stupid idea. Or at least that's what everyone told him. He decides to film himself counting to 100,000 out loud, on camera, start to finish. Why? Because he figured, okay, the concept is so absurd, so completely ridiculous, that people have to click on it just to see if he actually does it. It took him over 40 hours. 40 hours of just counting, saying numbers out loud into a camera. And you know what? It worked. 33 million views. His first real viral hit after 5 years of nothing. But here's the important part. It's not that the video went viral. Lots of videos go viral and then nothing. The creator goes back to obscurity. The important part is what Jimmy learned from it. See, that video taught him the fundamental truth about attention. And I need you to really understand this because it's the foundation of everything he built after. People don't watch YouTube for production quality. They don't care about fancy cameras or smooth editing. They watch because they can't look away. If the concept is extreme enough, if it's weird enough, if it triggers something in your brain that says, wait, is he actually gonna do this? People click every single time. So Jimmy doubled down. He watched paint dry for a day, read the entire dictionary, said Logan Paul 100,000 times. Each video more extreme than the last, and the views kept growing. But then he discovered something way more powerful than stunts: money. In 2018, he starts giving away cash on camera, real money to real people. At first, small amounts, $1,000, then $10,000, then $50,000, then $100,000 in a single video. And I mean, the reactions were real. People crying, screaming, hugging him. This wasn't fake YouTube drama. These were real humans getting real life-changing money. And viewers, they couldn't stop watching. Because here's the thing about real emotion. You can't fake it. And when something's real, people feel it. The subscriber numbers went vertical. 2017, 1 million. 2018, 10 million. 2019, 25 million. But wait, stop. Think about this for a second. He's giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars per video. He's a kid from North Carolina. He didn't come from money. He wasn't secretly rich. So where was all that cash coming from? And that question, that's where this story gets really interesting.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Okay, so here's where most people get it wrong. They think Jimmy got rich from YouTube ads, made some money, started giving it away, got more views, made more money. Simple. It's not that simple. Not even close. See, most YouTubers, when they start making money, they do what normal people do. They buy stuff. Nice car, nice apartment, maybe a nice watch. You know, enjoy the success. Jimmy, he did the opposite. Every single dollar he earned back into the next video, 100%. No sports car, no mansion, nothing. While other creators were buying Teslas and flexing on Instagram, Jimmy was living in a regular apartment, eating cheap food, and spending $100,000 on a single YouTube video. His friends thought he was crazy. His family was worried. Everyone around him was like,
dude, just keep some money, live a little.
But Jimmy understood something they didn't. It's called a flywheel. And honestly, it's the same strategy that Jeff Bezos used to build Amazon. Here's how it works. Pay attention because this is important. You make a big video. It gets lots of views. That generates money. You take all that money and make an even bigger video. That gets more views, makes more money. And you do it again. Each cycle, the wheel spins faster. By 2020, Jimmy was spending $1 to $3 million per video. Sounds insane, right? Who spends $3 million on a YouTube video? But let's look at the actual math, because the math makes it make sense. Alright, a typical MrBeast video gets around 100 million views, sometimes way more. Some of his videos have close to 1 billion views. But let's be conservative, 100 million. YouTube pays creators based on ads. For MrBeast's audience, mostly young people in wealthy countries, that's about $4 per 1,000 views, sometimes more. So, 100 million views times $4 per 1,000. That's $400,000 just from ads. ads. But wait, that's just the beginning. On top of that, sponsors. Brands pay him anywhere from $1 to $5 million per video just to have their logo in the video for 60 seconds. So total revenue from one video, somewhere between $1.5 and $5.5 million. He spends $1 to $3 million making it. Profit anywhere from $500,000 to $2.5 million from one video. That takes maybe a week to make. So here's the thing people don't get. He's not losing money by giving it away. He's making more money by giving it away. The money he gives away is the product. It's not a cost. It's an investment in attention. And in 2021, he took this to a level nobody thought was possible. He recreated Squid Game in real life. 456 real contestants, real cash prize, $4.5 million budget. For a YouTube video, everyone thought he'd lost his mind. $4.5 million on one video? It got over 900 million views. More than most Hollywood movies get in their entire theatrical run. The flywheel was spinning so fast at that point, I don't even know what to call it anymore. But here's where Jimmy separates from every other creator. This is the part nobody talks about. Most YouTubers, even the biggest ones, they're basically employees of YouTube. All their money comes from the platform. If YouTube changes the algorithm or demonetizes them or just decides they don't like them anymore, it's over. Everything's gone. Jimmy saw that trap early and he decided to escape it. The question was simple. How do you turn YouTube attention into real businesses? Answer: you build an empire, layer by layer. Layer 1, more channels. Main channel, 500 million subscribers. Gaming channel, 57 million. Beast Reacts, 37 million. Beast Philanthropy, 30 million. Total across everything, over 600 million subscribers. Just absorb that number for a second. Netflix, 260 million. Disney Plus, 150 million. HBO, 96 million. MrBeast has more subscribers than all of them combined. And he did it from North Carolina. Layer 2, Feastables. In 2022, Jimmy launched a chocolate brand. Now, lots of YouTubers try to sell products. Most don't succeed because having subscribers doesn't automatically mean people will buy your stuff. But Jimmy did it differently. He built an actual food company, real recipes, real manufacturing, real distribution deals with major retailers. 18 months after launch, Feastables was in Walmart, Target, every major grocery store in America. Annual revenue estimated at hundreds of millions of dollars. Let me put that in perspective. Kind Bars took 15 years to reach that scale. Cliff Bar, 20 years. Feastables, 18 months. How? Because Jimmy has something no traditional food company can buy. A built-in audience of nearly 500 million people. Every video is a free commercial. He doesn't need to spend 50 million on TV ads. He is the ad. And the ad is also entertainment. So people actually want to watch it. That's a cheat code. There's no other way to describe it. Okay, but I'd be lying if I told you everything Jimmy touched turned to gold. Because here's the thing. There was another business. One that taught him a very expensive lesson. Beast Burger! 2020, Jimmy launches a virtual restaurant brand. The idea was clever. Partner with existing kitchens across America. They cook the food using Jimmy's recipes. Customers order through delivery apps. Jimmy provides the brand and marketing. No need to build actual restaurants. No huge overhead costs. Just leverage existing infrastructure. It blew up immediately. Over 1,000 locations. Millions of orders. Magazine covers. Everyone saying Jimmy had revolutionized the restaurant industry. And then the reviews started coming in. Cold food. Wrong orders. 45-minute wait times. Food that looked nothing like the pictures. Soggy fries. Missing items. 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. 1 star! The Problem? Jimmy didn't control the kitchens. He licensed his name to a partner company. They ran the actual food operations, and quality control became a major issue. But whose face was on the bag? Whose name was on every wrapper? Every single negative review had Jimmy's brand attached to it. In 2023, he ended the partnership, shut the entire operation down, walked away from 1,000 locations. Now, most people called this a failure. And, I mean, in some ways it was. But here's what most people missed. Jimmy learned something from Beast Burger that shaped everything he did after. The lesson was simple, almost too simple. If your name is on something, you control it. All of it. The recipe, the manufacturing, the quality control, the shipping, everything. You can't outsource your reputation. That's exactly why Feastables works. Jimmy owns the entire supply chain, from ingredient sourcing to the shelf at Walmart. No middlemen, no partners who might cut corners. Complete control. Beast Burger. Brand, yes. Operations, no. Result, didn't work. Feastables. Brand, yes. Operations, yes. Result, $200 million. One word made the difference. Control. Okay, now let's zoom all the way out, because when you see the full picture, it's honestly impressive how well designed this whole thing is. What Jimmy built isn't just a YouTube channel with some side businesses. It's one of the most sophisticated media to commerce systems in the world right now. Let me break down the key strategies. Strategy 1. Attention arbitrage. Here's a question. How much does it cost to reach 100 million people with advertising? Super Bowl ad? $50 million for 30 seconds. And people are getting up to grab snacks anyway. Instagram ad campaign to reach the same number? 5 to 10 million. And most people scroll past in half a second. One MrBeast video? $0. He presses upload, 100 million people watch. They watch for 15 to 20 minutes, and they're actually engaged. Think about what that means. Jimmy can market Feastables to 100 million people without spending a single dollar on advertising. The video is the marketing, and people actually enjoy watching it. That's not a business advantage. That's a superpower. No traditional company on earth can replicate it. Strategy 2. Global domination through dubbing. MrBeast was one of the very first major creators to dub every single video into other languages. Not subtitles, actual voice dubbing. Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, Japanese, Hindi, Arabic, Russian, dozens of languages. Most creators don't bother. They think, English is enough. Most people understand English anyway. Jimmy looked at the actual numbers. There are 8 billion people on Earth. Only about 400 million speak English as a first language. That's 5% of the planet. By dubbing everything, he unlocked the other 95%. His international audience exploded. And here's the thing, in many countries, there's way less competition. A Brazilian kid who wants to watch MrBeast style content, there's basically nobody else doing it at that level. In Portuguese, same playbook as Netflix and Disney. Localize everything, go global. But Jimmy did it from North Carolina with a fraction of the budget. Strategy 3, and this one is honestly kind of brilliant. Philanthropy as brand protection. Beast Philanthropy is a separate channel. 25 million subscribers on its own. And here's the deal. 100% of the money that channel generates goes back into charity. Every single dollar. No exceptions. They've built wells in African villages, given away houses, paid off student loans, fed literally millions of meals to people who needed them. And yes, that's genuinely good. The impact is real. People's lives are genuinely better because of these efforts. But there's also a strategic element to it. In the creator economy, reputation is everything. One controversy, one bad news cycle, and years of work can be affected. Building a track record of genuine charitable work, it creates goodwill. It makes people more likely to give you the benefit of the doubt. The wells still provide water, the food still feeds people, and the brand becomes stronger. Strategy 4, systems over talent. This is huge and almost nobody talks about it. MrBeast doesn't just hire people, he builds them. His team, over 500 people now. Editors, writers, producers, data analysts, operations people, logistics coordinators. But here's what's different. He wrote an entire internal playbook, like an actual manual. How to make a MrBeast video, how to write a hook that keeps people watching, how to design a thumbnail that gets clicks, how to structure 20 minutes so the retention stays high. Parts of this document became public, and people were fascinated. It reads like a training manual from a Fortune 500 company, not a YouTube channel. He turned creativity into a system, a repeatable, teachable system. That means the machine keeps running even if Jimmy takes a week off. That is the difference between a creator and a company.
All right, let's bring this all together. In 2024, MrBeast's business was valued at $1.5 billion. Annual revenue, somewhere around $350 million. From a company that literally did not exist 10 years ago. But here's the real insight. Most creators, even successful ones, they build businesses that depend on them constantly creating. If they disappear for a month, the money stops. The brand fades. Jimmy understood this dynamic early, and he's actively building beyond it. Feastables is now in Walmart on its own merits. Yes, it was launched by YouTube, but it doesn't need YouTube to survive anymore. So what do we actually learn from all this? Lesson 1. Reinvest aggressively. The flywheel only works if you keep feeding it. Most people take their wins and relax. Jimmy took his wins and built bigger. Lesson 2. Attention is the new oil, but raw attention is worthless. You have to know how to refine it, turn it into products, brands, systems. Lesson 3. Control everything. If your name is on it and you don't control the quality, it will affect your reputation. Own the whole chain or be very careful about partnerships. Lesson 4. Build systems, not dependency. If your business stops when you stop working, you don't have a business. You have a job. Jimmy Donaldson did not get lucky. He spent a decade studying one platform, and then he turned attention into an empire. He's not just the world's biggest YouTuber, he might be the most sophisticated media entrepreneur of his generation. He just happens to use YouTube as his engine. And it all started with a kid in his bedroom counting to 100,000. If you made it this far, thank you. Seriously, this took forever to research. If you want more stories like this, company breakdowns, business strategies, the stuff nobody else explains, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. Tell me, which company should we break down next? I read all of them, every single one. Next video, we're looking at a company that turned the simplest product imaginable into a $100 billion empire, using a strategy that sounds impossible, but somehow worked. You're not gonna wanna miss that one. See you then.